mentioned it there, Matt Madness. And obviously, every single year that we've gotten a chance to watch the Matt Madness, we thought to ourselves, damn, they need to move this before March Madness, leading in to March Madness, because it is electrifying. The arena's roof gets blown off multiple times, showcasing the best of the best. A man who's no stranger to the national championship for the NCAA, former national champion, former Olympic gold medalist, former WWE superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, Gable Steveson.
Yeah, Gable!
Pat, how you doing?
Gable, good. Hey, I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us. And obviously, I've gotten a chance to get to know you over the years. And with what happened this weekend, I didn't know if you would be open to joining us or not open to joining us. Then I watched you next to Hendrickson whenever he was up on the podium, and you like kind of gave him a pat on the back. Is there a sense of relief that the season's over? Is there a sense of disappointment? Because obviously the way it went, they're talking about it being the biggest upset in the history. And the reason why it's the biggest upset is because of how damn great you have been as a Minnesota Gopher and a wrestler. Where's your headspace at, and what are your thoughts on everything that kind of transpired this past weekend?
Man, I'm not happy with the results that happened this past weekend, but it's a blessing to go out there in front of the crowd, in front of the biggest stage, and since leaving in 2022, I've always wanted to go out there and give one last good push for the University of Minnesota, and so that's what I try to do. I try to make things as big as possible, and I love the show. I love going out there and feeling the jitters, having your heart race, and having a great opponent across from you, and it's win or loss. The road isn't end for me, and I keep going forward.
Okay, so what is next for you, Gable? Obviously, I saw some haters. Anytime you're a superstar and you're dominant like you have been in the modern world, there's going to be people that are haters. This guy couldn't even make an NFL team. This guy, he didn't even play football. He can't make an NFL team in his first try. Okay. And then you have all this success, and you still choose the hard road, and you make it all the way back to the national championship, which is why I respect you. Your work ethic is awesome. You're an absolute dog. Nothing you've done has been easy. What is next for you? Have you thought about that, or kind of where are you at right now whenever you look at tomorrow as opposed to what yesterday was?
Oh man, the sun always comes up the next day. That's a saying that everyone's always talked about. But what's next for me is I've been boxing. I've been putting on the gloves, doing jiu-jitsu classes, trying to get ready for an MMA career. Or right after I stepped off the mat Saturday night, just a couple calls from a few new teams in the NFL, and just the roads keep opening, and I'm just so happy that I can go out there and put on my best performance. Win or lose, like I said, I'm always a showman. I go out there and I turn the crowd up. I show love, and if a guy gets his hand raised across from me, it's respect as always. And so the doors are still opening, and I'm just so happy where I am today and where the future is going to take me.
I like the way you operate, man. You've been kind to everybody that I've seen you interact with, and the way you were gracious in that situation, especially with the way that the reaction was like, oh my God, Gable Steveson has been toppled. Like the way Daniel Cormier, I don't know if you watch it back and if you ever will, like the reaction was stunned by everybody.
Yes.
And the way you handled it. Can't wait to see what you do next. Rap Sheet has a question for you, Gable.
Gable, you mentioned your time in the NFL. You mentioned some teams called. By the way, first of all, if you sign, please make sure I get the scoop, which I think would be great.
No, I got you.
Just being real. Just hit me up. I'll send you my number. Anyway,
you know it.
You had some experience with the Bills. You have seen wrestlers really thrive, especially in the offensive line. Stephen Neal with the Patriots. I know Zach Frazier with the Steelers is a dog. What is it about wrestling that translates so well to, I guess, all positions, but specifically the offensive lineman?
Just the offensive line and defensive line too. You go out there and it's a one-on-one battle with the guy in front of you. And just growing up wrestling, you look at a guy across from you, and it's just like you go out there and you want to kill. And so that's just what it's about. It's the trenches. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be desperation to get to the quarterback, or it's desperation to not let the D line get to the quarterback. So whatever position I can get in at, I'll be grateful. I'll be thankful. And when I was in Buffalo, I put my best shoes on. A lot of people don't know that was my first time ever playing football and first time I ever put on cleats.
Yeah.
Wow.
Von Miller and the guys had to put on. Von Miller had to help me put on my pads and strap them because I had no clue how to put them on the first day of camp.
Wow.
So I appreciate Von Miller for that. But
but you weren't able to make it. You weren't able to make it. Yeah.
Me and my strength coach, Scott, we got this saying, man. A lot of people say a lot of things, but they just talking the talk. but we're out there walking the
Amen.
walk and doing the best we can in our life and everybody else's life too, just to make sure everybody can see a great show for me and see the next path that I take.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great quote. And obviously that's going to continue for the rest of your life. You become a superstar at a very young age. D-Bud has a question for you, Gable.
Yeah, talking about what's
Yes,
next.
sir.
You talked about MMA. Do you already have a trainer? Do you already have a regimen in mind going into that next step? That's a completely different avenue. You've done it before. But what pieces have you already put in place?
Just making sure I can get my hands certified and ready. Just making sure that I can see punches coming and make sure that I'm comfortable in the cage and comfortable with guys in front of me that are going to be throwing these huge haymakers and getting in and getting out the way. So, I mean, I got a great mentor right now. I hope a lot of people know a guy named John Jones. Just a fantastic dude and the greatest fighter of all time. He's pretty damn good, you know. He's pretty damn good. So, man, I appreciate his efforts of trying to lead me into the right direction and kind of taking my back and kind of giving me the direction I need. And, you know, I'm really young and he's been there and he's done that before. So it's, I'm really appreciative of how he's kind of walked my steps leading into this next chapter, if that's what it is.
Okay, so amateur wrestling, obviously, they tried to kill it a few years back, I think, whenever it wasn't an Olympic sport anymore. The entire wrestling community came out and said that's not real. And then we watch Matt Madness every single year. It is electrifying. We think the sport is obviously very healthy. But whenever it goes from amateur wrestling, the professional step next is either WWE, which you had obviously been around a few different times, or you get into mixed martial arts and UFC. Have you already talked to Dana? Have you already had those conversations? And how long have you been preparing potentially for a life in the cage after wrestling, knowing that that is one very viable professional outlet for good amateur wrestlers?
I think that's the best outlet for amateur wrestlers overall. And I think I've not spoken to Dana personally. That's one meeting that I would love to have face to face. You know, I've been waiting a long time to see him. I know after the 2021 Olympics, he reached out to me and wanted me to come see him in Vegas and everything else. And so that's one meeting that I would love to have and love to see. So if I can get in front of his face and really pitch who I am and pitch who he can see and who I will be, I think that'll be the greatest thing.
See you tomorrow. Perfect out on you, Gable. Maybe you get into TV. You saw the countdown right there. We are still live
I saw it
on YouTube. Great work out of you. Good time. Hey, perfect time.
TV magic.
Yo,
We're still live
I've been on the block a little times. I can see.
Yeah, I've been a superstar a long time. We're on ESPN Plus, YouTube, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. Still talking to Gable Steveson, obviously. Would be pumped to watch you in the ring. The jiu-jitsu is the thing, right? Isn't that kind of the thing? Like, because those motherfuckers can break both your arms at the same time. And that kind of the
legs, they break your legs, your kneecaps, your elbows, your arms, and all that. So hey, just try to jump out the way if you can. But
yeah,
it's gonna be tough. But yo, I've always you know me for a long time. I've always been out for the battle. What if it was good or if it was bad. If people doubted and you know they're always gonna doubt. But I've been here before, and this is nothing new.
That's awesome, Gable. Connor has a question for you, brother.
Yeah, Gable, as far as environments go, how was it yesterday? You know, obviously the president was there, but then you're still looking around and, you know, there's a lot of history made. I believe one of the Penn State wrestlers became a 5-time national champion as well. What was the environment like in that place all day yesterday?
Crazy. Philly showed up for Matt Madness. Carter Starachi, a 5-time national champion, probably going to go down as the greatest NCAA wrestler of all time. I get to go out there in front of Trump, in front of Elon Musk and everybody else and go out there and showcase a great matchup. And that's what we want. And that's what wrestling needs. Wrestling needs to grow. Wrestling needs that spotlight for guys like myself, Wyatt Hendrickson, Carter Starachi, and so many other guys to go out there and put on good performances. And like I said before, win or lose, I've always been that showman and I've always wanted to show the crowd who I am and leave that lasting legacy of who is Gable to the casual viewer that is watching on ESPN that has never heard of me before.
I wasn't paying attention close enough whenever they were doing the commentary because the moment was so gigantic. Had you wrestled Hendrickson before? Did you guys know each other very well? And when he shoots at the end there, you were, hey, when he shoots and gets your leg, you know you're fucked there? Like, when do you, like, legitimately, take me into your mind a little bit.
Nah, I mean, I'm a great counter score wrestler. And so when he got to my legs, you can kind of get a sense that you might be fucked, but you're not fucked fully. So
got it. Yeah.
So you know you're in between of halfway of like, gosh, am I gonna get fucked or am I about to? So I mean, you get the sense of like, okay, it's about to happen. And so I get taken down with 20 seconds left. I'm looking at the clock like, gosh, I got to get up. But you know, in wrestling, if you've been around wrestling and you know, starting in the parterre position and getting taken down and having to build up from the stomach is a lot harder because guys can hang on. You don't have to start in the regular position. So, man, I'm getting full weight on top of me. I'm trying to build up, and it just wasn't my time. And I'm cool with that. And there's nothing wrong with not having your time and not having your day, because I feel that out of all the other times that I probably could have pulled it off, but that day just wasn't my day. And it happens.
Yeah. Anytime you're going into a gladiator-like sport, you're exposing yourself, obviously, in front of millions, hundreds of thousands of people watching it, and every once in a while, you're going to get caught. You've only lost 3 matches. I mean, your records are absurd. That's why when I was reading the shit on the internet of people like celebrating your loss, I'm like, let's not forget here. The reason why this is such a big thing is because of how damn dominant you have been. Tell me about Hendrickson, though, a little bit. Obviously, you have massive respect for him, and you have to have respect for every one of your opponents. But tell me about him as a wrestler, because if I go back to the Olympic gold medal, you wrestled a big dude, too, right? Dude that was bigger than you, I think, and you ended up getting a win.
Yeah,
tell me about Hendrickson looked bigger than you. Go ahead.
Keep going. You can.
I was going to say, it felt like the same situation there. He was a little bigger. It looked like he was a little bit bigger than you, maybe.
Yeah, he was just a little bigger, but, it's a gladiator sport. You want to go out there and fight. You want to go out there and battle. And that day was not my day to win the battle. And there's nothing, they're always, at the end of the day, I think people were going to get a reaction, and we're waiting for a reaction of me to act in a negative way towards the crowd and towards Hendrickson and bring out a different side of me. But we go toe to toe. We put it on the line, and a lot of people are going to say a lot of things about, hey, he lost. But what I've done for wrestling, I think, is unimaginable. I've went out there and won Olympic golds in the last second. I've won 2 Dan Hodge trophies at heavyweight, which no one else has ever done. 2 national titles, 3-time in the finals, 5-time All-American. My resume stands for itself, and I could probably keep going on it, but a quick search can help that out. So, I mean, like we talked about, it wasn't the day. And that happens. It's a gladiator sport, and I'm a warrior.
Well, Gable, that's why I wanted to kind of follow up and ask, because I'm kind of, your comeback, which has been one of the cooler stories in college wrestling that we've seen. You lost at the end, but you don't sound like you lost. I'm wondering, at the end of all this, considering where you came from, what you've been through, the different things, coming back to the top and the brink, do you consider it a success, or are you like, it would have been a success? Because, like, how do you view this entire climb and the way it ended up?
Man, that's a great question. I woke up today. It's crazy.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. Like I think for a long time now, I've been like, damn, like I get to wake up. I get to, like, I have a home. I have a house. Like, I get to eat like good food. I get to see the world. I get to go places that nobody may ever see. And I think a lot of people were expecting just a really bad reaction from me. But at the end of the day, like, I've done so many great things. I've met so many great people. I've been in so many great places, and that I'll never take that for granted. And that's why, that was the main reason why I wanted to come back to University of Minnesota after leaving in 2022, was I wanted these kids to see that you can be something special. Whether you win or lose, you can change the sport. You can be a guy that people want to look at and take pictures with and hang out with after the duels and after the matches. So it's not the end of the world for me. Like I said, the sun is shining right now. I'm happy to see that. The skin is glowing. I'm smiling. The teeth look good, and I'm ready to be here.
Yeah, they certainly do. And the resume is packed, and we can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you for taking the time, and thank you for doing to wrestling what you did, man. You're the best.
No, I appreciate you, Pat. Thank you. Everyone else, I appreciate y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Gable Steveson.